And then I found that there's actually a niche of normal people on the internet.
Where did you find that
TikTok.
Really? Like, there's normal people on there?
There are normal people on there.
Breaking barriers, building communities, and redefining what it means to win. Hello and welcome to Talking with Terri TV. I am your host, Tamika Caldwell, and thank you so much for joining today. In today's Business Spotlight, we're featuring a woman who is making waves in the world of real estate and beyond. Tamika Caldwell is not only a successful entrepreneur, but a visionary who's using her platform to build community, create wealth, and inspire others to step into their possibilities. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Is she not the most adorable human?
Aww,
I'm serious.
you're so sweet.
So fantastic. So, Tamika, every entrepreneur has a redefining moment that set them apart on the path. What is that moment for you when you knew real estate and entrepreneurship was part of your calling?
So, funny enough, I used to be a personal trainer.
Okay.
And one of my clients was a realtor.
Okay.
And she just said to me, I think you'd be really good at this. So, COVID happened. I was recently divorced. I had two little babies, one was a baby, one was 7. So, and so that was just kind of a tough time, right? And COVID was kind of tough, but I just needed to do something different for my kids. So, yeah.
I think sometimes as moms, we do things, we go the extra for the kids, right? If there's ever any push.
That was it.
To show up, it's all right, kid, I'm doing this for you.
Doing it for you.
Even if I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for you, right?
Yes.
I think sometimes our kids can be our greatest teachers in that capacity.
Absolutely.
Before all the success, there's usually a story of risk, doubt, or reinvention. What is a challenge or turning point that really shaped you to lead today?
I guess when I realized that maybe I was doing something different in my industry, I had a lot of clients that were coming to me and just saying oh, you care. I can really tell that you care, And that for me was the shift where this should be the standard, that you're entrusted a lot with people's lives and their money and the biggest asset that they're going to sell. So I think that was it for me, is realizing what I was doing was different, and that's.
Because in this world, let's be honest, I just spoke last weekend at a huge real estate mortgage event, and one of the ladies who took the stage said that 13% of people, only 13% of clients choose their real estate agent again for their transactions, which just is surprising to me, which means that those transactions are more transactional than building the human experience, right? And really creating that relationship with it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think that our whole thing is that we want people to use us again and again. We want to build that relationship. And I remember when I first started, one of my clients, she was a single mom of 7 kids, and she couldn't pay for the home inspection. And, so I covered it, and another agent on the other side, she's like, oh, I would never give my commission. And I was just like, well, why not? She needs a home. Why wouldn't you do that for your client? But you're absolutely right. It can be very transactional for a lot of people.
And I think whenever we pay it forward like you did, I think if we're open to receiving it in other ways, it will not ever come back from that individual, but it will come back in a different way, in a more powerful, more profound way that we don't even know, right?
Yeah.
And so I love that, because you are doing it differently, and you're bringing in that human aspect, you're bringing in your heart and authenticity to the industry. So how are you bringing your heart and authenticity into the industry that can feel really transactional?
I think I just tried to think of myself, and when I first started, and it was just me and the kids, and we're going through COVID. I mean, I was using my COVID checks to pay for school, and we had everything that we needed. And when I, became more successful and the money kind of started flowing, that was a weird thing for me, because we always had enough, right? Yeah. And now we have more than enough. But I think that's kind of my give back. Right? Yeah. Is now I'm blessed and I can bless others. Yeah,
so. It's a powerful place to be, especially when we think about abundance. Oftentimes we think about, we have to be giving, but when we are in a place of abundance, it's so much easier to give from that abundance. Yeah. And because we're not going into a place of scarcity, right? And so it's a very powerful place to be in and be able to serve. And my old company, we had this philosophy of loving on our people and then loving on our clients, right?
Yes.
And one of the things that we did, because we had a huge staff, this company doesn't have as big of a staff as that company, but people felt it, right?
Yeah.
And you can find places and to love on people, because when you love on people, there's just magical things that happen.
Yeah, and I love what you said, because when you're in a place of scarcity, it's harder for you to give, you know? And so when you are like in a place of abundance, and like you said, people can feel that.
Yes.
And then you feel good too, because you're not struggling to give to someone else, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And when I was talking to when I was speaking at this event this last weekend, you know, I tell people that we're such good givers, right? We love giving, but we have to be willing to receive too.
Yes.
And I think that's a big element that business owners often overlook, is just being able to receive and just saying, you know, these 7 words, thank you, I'll take more of that. And
I love that.
I know. Thank you. So whenever you know things show up, and it was funny because I had some ladies text me from this event, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I keep saying that, and it just keeps coming." And I'm like,
I was gonna say, I'm gonna start saying.
So excited. Like, it's like, thank you. I'll take more of that.
Yes.
Thank you. Right.
Yes.
Whether it's from a business perspective, whether someone's treating you to coffee.
Right.
And I used to say it in my head, but now I say it out loud, and I'm like, thank you. I'll take more of that.
Game changer.
I know, right? It's such a game changer.
Yes.
So you've built a really strong online presence as well, especially in TikTok and Instagram. So what inspired you to use social media as a tool for connection, and how do you keep it real in a space that can sometimes feel curated?
Yes, that's hard, because it does feel curated, like you said, you know, and you're just constantly comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah.
And then I found that there's actually a niche of normal people on the internet.
Where do you find that
TikTok.
Really? Like, there's normal people out there?
There are normal people on there.
Okay. I just haven't started. You have to I'm just kidding.
You have to find it. It's hard to find, but there's like the...
It's like instead of like the dark web, it's like the green web, the real people. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? Because like now people are like, they actually have AI doing scripts for themselves.
Yes, I know. It's funny, but it's it's called the non-aesthetic. That's what I had to start looking up, was like the non-aesthetic mom or the non-aesthetic business owner. You know what I mean? And
that's what you actually like look up?
Yes, yeah, literally. But I mean, don't dive too deep, because then it kind of gets a little like, you know,
weird.
Like I'm like, am I type B? I'm like, I'm type C.
Okay, there's levels. There's levels, as with everything, right? It's a continuum. Oh my.
Yes, but I had to find the normal people on TikTok, and then it made me feel better about myself too, you know, and then it became easier to share. And you're like, okay, other people will resonate with this. I don't have to have a perfectly clean house or you know, that kind of thing. So
yeah, okay. A super fun fact, I went to this social media award ceremony for like the influencers. I don't know how I got invited, but I did.
I know how you got invited.
And I'm just saying, like, I was like, it was like there was all the people that were just super real.
Yes.
Like I did find the real people.
Right. Yeah.
I did.
They're there.
But I think that's important, because like when you're showing up with authenticity and people feel that,
right.
They're like, ooh, I like this person. It's about, and whenever I speak, I tell people, you've got to have people fall in love with you. Right?
Right.
And then build that relationship, and then it just helps, and then you get to like fall in love with them, and it's like this really powerful dance that you get to play with.
Right, absolutely.
So what are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about building wealth or freedom through real estate?
So I think that when people want to invest in real estate in the beginning, they think it's going to be very easy, you know, or I think homeowners forget that you have to be a homeowner and, you know, fix things, or it, you know, costs money to do certain things. So I think that is probably the largest misconception. Or people think that if you buy a property, then you will make an enormous amount of money in like a year or two or something. So
especially with the economy being so wackadoo, right? Like
it is crazy. Yes. So yes, and I blame COVID for that, to be completely honest.
Fair.
Yes.
Well, on to you, COVID.
We know what y'all did. So. Yes. And the market's kind of starting to level out, and I think, I think homeownership and real estate can build a lot of financial freedom, but you just have to be prepared for the worst, basically.
And you do help folks invest, and not just like be homeownership, but just in the investing process to help build a portfolio, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The power of investment and the power of, investing in real estate can also help build that wealth in a really much more dynamic way.
Right, yes.
Even with a wacky economy.
Yes, it can. And so, I mostly am VA, very like military heavy, because I live in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
But I've seen people use their VA benefits to purchase a home, and in like 3 years when they PCS again, they walk away with like $10,000, and that's after fees, and why not? If you would put the same money into renting.
Exactly.
Right.
I got you.
So.
Okay, I want to ask this before we take a break. If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice to start your journey, what would it be?
Do it sooner.
Ah, that's so good. That's
just do it sooner.
Boom. Mic drop. Do it sooner. Do it sooner, right?
Yes.
And I think sometimes we talk ourselves out of that because of all the head trash and all the stories or the beliefs that we can't do it.
Right.
Just do it sooner. Like we were just talking earlier on another episode about, doing it scared.
Yeah.
Do it scared. Do it sooner.
Absolutely.
Bam. All right. We're going to be right back.
I'm Karen Zupa, founder of Complete Business Accounting. We're not your typical accounting firm. At Complete Business Accounting, we partner with you to make sense of your numbers so you can grow with confidence. From strategic bookkeeping to fractional CFO support, we provide the structure, insight, and clarity your business needs to thrive. You don't start a business to be worried about your finances. And with Complete Business Accounting, you won't have to be. Let's move your business forward. Visit cbaccounting.net to get started.
Friends don't let friends shop for health insurance alone, especially online with a bottle of wine. Skip the spammy calls, endless emails, confusing options. We've got you covered, literally. I'm Deb Salmons with Imagine Choice Customized Health Solutions. No more guesswork. We shop for best plans for you with lower rates the healthier you are. We personalize your plans with confidential information, and it's hassle-free. Let us take the stress off your plate so you can focus on what matters most. Imagine Choice, health insurance with a human touch.
All right, we are back with my new favorite human being.
Oh, you're my new favorite.
Right? Okay. So I always tell people I love collecting humans in like a non-Jeffrey Dahmer way.
Oh,
and
that,
so like you have been now collected. Okay, in
Thank
a
you.
non-weird way.
Just
Okay.
keep me safe.
Safety first. So you've worked with a lot of different clients over the years. What have you seen is the biggest emotional or mindset block that holds people back from really building wealth and stepping into ownership, whether that's in real estate or in life?
I think it's just fear, and I kind of had like the fear mentality too, because the what ifs and the unknown. But as like I've grown in my career, you just realize like things are going to happen. So try to find the solution and work past it, because there is like so much greater things on the end.
I think sometimes, and I think it's fear, but also like the fear of, and along with rigidity.
Right.
Because I think we get to a place of like, we must control.
Yes.
Because we have fear, we're using control to override fear.
Right.
And as we do that, and then when something goes a little awry, we're like, like just like that.
Yes.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, like what is happening, right?
That's so true. Yes.
Versus just being like, okay. I go back to my wedding day because there was things that when I was just like in the flow, and I was like, oh, lipstick on the dress. Oh, okay. Like
yes.
And it's like, okay, we'll take care of this. And it's like, oh, this happened and this happened. And it's just like, okay, today's a magical day and I'm just going to treat it as such. And when things go a little wonky,
right,
is just understanding and honoring that things are going to go a little wonky.
Right. And
we're going to just get back on track.
Yes, know.
Right?
Yes, so
instead of being so rigid.
Yes, you can't. Yeah. And my sister always says this. It's I feel like the more children I've had, because I have 4 kids now, I've become more like go with the flow.
Yes.
And she's like, I just admire how you are just so and because you just can't control it. I've got a meeting and I'm rushing out the house and then somebody poops and I've got to change the diaper. So and that's just kind of how it is.
Because everybody poops.
That is life.
Only buckets. But to your But I think some folks that are like, again, that fear and the control, they live life in that way. And
Right.
so if we can so what would be one little tip or trick that you have that like helps people just get out of that fear of that control?
I am a breather, like a deep breather,
Yes.
So if something comes up that is out of my control, I gotta put it away for a little bit, take some deep breaths, and then reset. I think I've learned that mostly. I don't have to respond to something right away,
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just
Deep
take a
breath,
break.
take a break, reset. One of my favorite things is to do movement. So just get up and
Yes.
either like jumping jacks, dance,
Yes.
or dance, but like just shaking it off and to get a reset. So I
Yes.
think that's a great tip for everyone who's like just getting to that place of just, God, it has to be a certain way.
Right. Yeah, you're
Like,
absolutely right.
Forgive yourself.
Yes.
Let's move on.
And let's
right?
move on. Exactly. Find the solution.
So how do you personally stay grounded and motivated in business that can also be high stress, but also high stakes?
My family and my faith, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the two things that just keeps me going every day. I can wake up at 4:45 a.m. because I know. But when you have 4 kids and everybody's hungry, you got to get up before them, or they will terrorize you. It's just like no, can't do it. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Okay, I just have a single, so I don't even know that world.
it's crazy. I've lost like brain cells literally through each pregnancy, but they're a blessing. So.
Yes. Can you share a story where you've witnessed a client experience real transformation, not just financially, but personally through leadership?
Yes. Gosh, so many, honestly. I think my thing with real estate is I'm kind of like the bargain hunter, and
Like it. I
yeah,
like it.
I'm trying to save money, and the
Yeah.
best feeling is when they get money back at closing.
Yes.
So that's a lot of my clients. I'm able to obtain that for them. I've had single moms, I've had single dads, I've had new families, young families. I think the youngest couple I've ever sold a house to they were like 21.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Good on them. Talk about starting early.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, they've got real estate,
Yeah.
and they're PCSing, and they're gonna sell their house and make money and buy it when they go somewhere else.
You often talk about community and collaboration. Why is that such a vital part of your mission, and how can entrepreneurs start building the sense of belonging around their work?
Yes, so I think it's so important to network, right?
Yeah.
And you want to build like genuine relationships.
Yes.
And you just never know who someone knows, or they might think of you or say your name in a room that is really important, So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I there's such value to that is like really getting to know people and on more than just a superficial level is really
Right.
connecting people. Like there's some people that are connectors. I would consider myself a connector because
Absolutely.
it ties into like my gift giving. So I feel like if I give a referral or a connection, like
Right.
I'm winning.
Yes.
Right. And
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I love like matchmaking people because I'm like, oh my gosh, like you guys just need to know each other.
Yes.
But that comes from a place of abundance, and that
Yes.
comes from a place of true like collaboration. Like when you can see the possibilities beyond. Okay, how can this connect and collaborate, right?
Right. Yeah.
But there's
absolutely.
such power for that. I just love that, and really taking the time to get those. And I always will say like finding the golden geese.
Yeah.
So the people that are in your network that can really support one another, and
Yes.
that are the connectors is powerful.
Yeah.
That's a powerful, brilliant business hack there. So if someone is listening and they're ready to take the next step in their business or wealth journey, but feel scared, what's one simple action that you would tell them to take today?
We've just got to sit down and do the call. And I think that sometimes is really hard for people, because everybody has a life, right? And they all have a story and a financial hardship or whatever it is, and they're embarrassed to say those things.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I've been there, done that. So I feel like my clients, when they come to me, they genuinely feel like they can just tell me.
Yeah.
And that's great because I want to be that safe space, because if I know everything, then I can help you better, so.
I mean, and especially for anyone in life, like if you don't know, you don't know. There's
Right.
no way that somebody can help or support you on that path.
Absolutely.
And so, yes, it takes a place of being vulnerable to ask for help or just to say, what do the numbers look like?
Right.
And once I lay it out there, it's so much easier for somebody else to say, okay, this is where we need to repair. This is where we need
Right.
to go from. This is where we need to take a look at, beef this up, right?
Yes.
And then it's like, oh, or guess what? You're golden.
You're good, yeah.
You're golden. Let's do this. You know
Yes.
what? Look at this. fantastic. This is all the things that you've done up to this point, and let's go.
Right,
Right.
absolutely.
And so I think but going back to our conversation earlier about the fear, like I think the fear will block people. And so
Yes.
if you're just curious, now curiosity activates the entire brain. So just get a little curious.
Yes.
And go play.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Just ask questions, just like you said. And because real estate's not something that they taught us in school, you know? Even when I was going to get my license and everything, my mind was blown. I just don't even have the words. I learned so much, and it blew my mind that this was not like public knowledge.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, just building wealth in general is
Yes.
not necessarily public knowledge, right? Like,
Right.
how do we do this in a smart, educated way?
Right.
I know I was not taught that growing up, like how to
Yeah.
build wealth or how to build a portfolio, like, right?
Yes, and you would know this too. Like it's obtainable, and that's really the crazy part. You know, is I think people block themselves mentally, thinking that this could never happen for me, or I didn't come from this family, or something like that. But it is obtainable, but it does take a lot of hard work. You know, and people have to be willing to put in those hours and eliminate the fear.
So as you look forward, what's the legacy or ripple effect that you want to create in your platform on your message?
I think kind of like we said, I want people to feel like this is real for them too, you know, and because it's become real for me as well, and I want my children overall to really see that and reap the benefits from it. But I want just other women and other moms to understand that it is hard work, but you can do it, and we're all here together, like you said, like building community. I don't think that we were ever meant to be alone, you know, so.
Well, I am so excited that we are now friends.
Yes.
And where can people connect with you?
TikTok and Instagram.
Where the real people hang out.
Yes, where the real people hang out. At Tamika.Caldwell.
Well, thank you so much, Tamika, for being here and just like really sharing your story and your heart, helping people, help them create the journey that they desire. And if today's conversation sparked a new perspective about wealth, ownership, or living with purpose, let us know in the comments, and be sure to share this out with a friend who's ready to step into their brilliance. And if you're in Colorado or traveling to Colorado, be sure to check out the Entrepreneurial Girlfriend Hour, a live studio experience that you don't want to miss. And a reminder, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification bell to find out about my upcoming shows. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time.